Yo, what's going on, guys? Trey back again here, bringing another video. This one's going to be talking about Anderson Silva against Chael Sonnen 2, the rematch. So it's been almost 2 years since we last saw these guys fight. Believe it or not, even though it seems like it was just yesterday, it was August 2010. And now we're in 2012, and these guys will probably rematch sometime in the summertime. So it'll be almost 2 years in between, the first fight and the rematch. Question being, is this the biggest rematch, or not even just rematch, is this the biggest match in the history of the UFC? I kind of tend to think it is. I mean, the amount of time that's passed, being that there was 2 years, being that nobody else has been able to touch Anderson. I mean, Anderson, whoever he faces, if it's Okami, or actually, has he faced anybody else after? I think it would just be Okami. Vitor Belfort, how could I forget that? The crescent kick to the chin. That was amazing. So yeah, I mean, the Vitor Belfort and Yushin Okami, and he finished both of them with relative ease. Before that, it was Chael Sonnen. So nobody's been able to touch Anderson in all these years. Chael was the closest to beating him of absolutely anybody. Took him all the way to the 5th round, almost beat him in a decision, and just got triangled at the last minute. Absolutely crazy stuff. So, is this the biggest rematch ever? Is this the biggest match in UFC history? I think it is. I mean, Chael says it is, in his WWE style of promoting the biggest rematch in the history of the business. Just like that, I mean, you guys know the stuff that Chael does. But is he right? I think he is right, actually. I think this is the biggest match in the history of the UFC. After Brock has left, Brock was the biggest draw in the UFC. Now we kind of have to look to the other guys. We got John Jones, who's, coming up to be a big draw. GSP's been hurt, so he's, will he be as big of a draw when he comes back? I don't know. But Anderson's definitely that other guy that was a huge draw before that people wanted to see face Chael Sonnen again. Pretty much right away. Like, they were even talking maybe an immediate rematch, and Ed Soros was like, no, that's not going to happen. Why does he deserve a rematch? Take a number and go to the back of the line. So, I don't really agree with that either. I think that they could have given him an immediate rematch if it wasn't for the testosterone issues, which is another topic on its own completely. But yeah, when it comes to this fight, I think this is the biggest fight in the history of the UFC. I think this is going to sell the most, especially if they put it in Brazil. Like, can you imagine how crazy this would be? And imagine what would happen if Chael Sonnen won this in Brazil. They better get security ready, man. I mean, the other day there was a soccer match in Egypt where, like, I heard like somewhere between like 40 and 80 people died after because of the riot after the match. I mean, I can't see 40 to 70 people dying if Chael Sonnen was to win in Brazil, but I can certainly see one person dying, if you know who I'm talking about. He says he's not worried about it. He's like, I'm not worried about it. They love me in Brazil. I don't know. I kind of think the UFC should be a little bit worried about it. They should definitely take precautions. They should definitely be careful about that, because Anderson Silva is the biggest fighter to ever come out of Brazil. At this point, he is. I mean, Vanderlei Silva, Big Nog, okay, but Anderson's one of the best of all time. I mean, you arguably he's either the best or second best to Fedor only. So this also could be one of the last fights we see Anderson in. I mean, we don't know. Anderson just got injured with a shoulder. He's had trouble, like Chael said, he's denied the fight a couple times, and he won't fight him. He says, quote unquote, he won't fight me again. I think he will. I think we'll see it this summer, but I think that Anderson's days may be getting to the end. And if Chael Sonnen wins this match, I think probably we'll see Anderson retire right after that, or maybe in a year from then, or a couple years from then. But anyways, is this the biggest match in the history of the UFC? I think so. I think it is. Let me know what you guys think about the fight. If you'd like to hear my predictions for it, you can go check out my prediction video. I'll put a link to it right here. And that's it for this one, guys. Later. Peace.